And we are live. Welcome to another Not Mainstream, February 9th, 2018. And I'm a little bit under the weather. It finally hit me. I got a cold. It happened actually last week after the show went off the air. My throat started to get sore. And I thought, oh, maybe it was because I was talking all day and all night. But it got me. The cold got me. But I'm feeling a little bit better. Everything's going okay in Shane land, and I got my little Trump don't get schlonged cup.
Yeah.
Full of that good old Russian vodka, aka water. But there's a lot of news in the cycle today, and this week and last week, and whatever. It's going to get started with the very first thing that happened early this morning. So basically what happened was there was a government shutdown for a few hours because of the whole spending bill, because they had until last night to get something done. They didn't get anything done. So what happened was they decided to raise the deficit again and use that as a trajectory of not shutting down the government, even though it was shut down for like 2 or 3 hours, which doesn't really matter. Trump came in and signed the bill, and everything's okay. So it's not the end of the world. It's not Armageddon. So everything's okay. The government's opening, and yeah. So basically, they decided to raise the deficit again, which Rand Paul did a 6-hour filibuster, I guess you can call it, and say don't raise the deficit because you guys are complaining because Obama raised the deficit all them times and all this other nonsense. So Rand Paul was like, you know what, I'm against this. Let's do an amendment. And you know what, I agree with Rand Paul. I think they should not raise the deficit, but I also agree that, however, this government shutdown would have been a huge shot in the foot again for the Dems, or as I like to call them, the Demon Rats, which they shut down the government a couple of weeks ago for like 3 days, and they caved and had to reopen. Crying Chucky caved and reopened, and they didn't get the DACA deal in place, and they still haven't got the DACA deal in place, which is key, because if they get a DACA deal in place, this whole thing is going to be very concerning for me, because I don't think there should be a DACA deal at all. I think they should be deported, like President Trump said in his campaign. But I understand, want to be, ethical and be nice and everything. But here's the thing: they came here, as I like to call it, or as I like to. I stole this from David Knight from Infowars. Foreign citizens that's criminally trespassing on our land or on our property, and they come here, they trespass, and they get a free ride, they get free college, they get free education, they get free everything. I mean, that right there is like good enough for them to, get their education and get deported and do the legal process, or even go somewhere else. I mean, and they also say, oh, well, what about their families? Well, their family is not forced to stay here. They can go along with them. But Henry, what do you got? What do you think?
Well, I mean, the Trump administration has been very clear in saying that the current laws are not targeting any individual who is here illegally but is following the law. If you're following the law, even though you're illegal, if you're following the law, you're still, you're okay. You're not a target.
Mm-hmm.
That is what the Trump administration is saying. So I think that's a good idea. Don't penalize those who, even though yes, they broke the law to get here. Don't continue to penalize them further, because they want to try and have a better life here in the United States. Better life from whatever hellhole they came from.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree too.
I think the president is he's wanting to He's wanting to help those individuals who have had a rough time in their lives. And there's nothing wrong with that. He wants to help them. He wants to make sure that, that they are accommodated. I mean, he's not giving them amnesty. He's just wanting to, there is a difference there, by the way, folks. He's not giving amnesty. He's just saying those who are already here, who are not breaking the law, they're okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And I would absolutely be concerned if he did give him amnesty. I do not agree with that one bit. I don't agree with amnesty one bit.
But, every time there's a news item of someone being deported, they say, well, that Trump, he's just a bad, he's an SOB. How dare he deport these people? Well, first of all, is it him deporting them, or is it just the laws?
Yeah, exactly.
The way the law is set up.
And plus, for an example, back when Trump did his State of the Union last week, the media was like, oh, those people he had on the stands are political pawns and all that nonsense. And I'm like, don't you realize the mainstream media does the same exact thing with the dreamers? They trot out these dreamers and they interview them and they give the sob story. Well, I've been here for 20 years and I don't know where to go. And I'm like, you're doing the exact same damn thing.
Yep.
So, I mean,
the left and the fake news,
calling the kettle black. Yeah. But go ahead, Henry.
The left and the fake news media, they're very good at one thing. They're very good at being hypocrites.
Yeah.
That is one thing they're certainly expert at being as hypocrites.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they don't even care anymore. I think they probably do realize they're doing this. Some of them, at least some of them do. And I just don't think they care anymore about being hypocrites, because there's like, so many of videos of Hillary Clinton saying and Obama saying we need to have a strong border and we need to make sure illegals don't come across the border and everything like that. And now they're saying, oh, let's open them up to everybody and give them all free health care and all that other. I'm like, that's not what you said 4 years ago. That's not what you said 8 years ago.
Yeah, isn't it amazing the technology we have where we can call up old videos of someone and say, yeah, it's like, you're saying this now, but didn't you say this just a few years ago?
Yeah. And which is why the YouTube and Facebook and Twitter is trying to censor all this, so none of this can get out in the open.
Yes, and a lot of individuals are doing the best they can to upload or to download these video clips to their hard drive. Keepvid.com, that's the site you want to use.
Yeah, I use that all the time. I download all these
for YouTube. Oh, and you can also download Facebook videos through that as well.
Absolutely.
There's several video platforms that you can download videos from using KeepVid. Facebook and YouTube are just two of them.
Yeah, I use KeepVid too to download these videos because, with YouTube censoring us, I'm sure that they're probably, like, well, I'm not monetized at all, but I'm sure they probably like, go and back through some of these and like, oh, wait a minute, one video is deleted or gone or went missing or went private or something. So that's why I'm keeping track of all these videos. Nikki's watching. She said the dreamers are kids that ended up here with no fault of their own. The fault lies that they had plenty of time to get their citizenship and haven't. And I absolutely agree with that. Completely agree with that. They had plenty enough time once they turn 18 to get citizenship. Let's see here. Let's see what else.
Well, what I was going to say was is that Mark Dice, he was talking about that I think he talked about yesterday that his videos are being demonetized.
Oh yeah, there's been like numerous reports of demonetization with YouTube.
Yeah, with different conservative and even some libertarian commentators who tend to lean conservative. Even if you, like I say, even if you're a libertarian and you lean conservative, sometimes they'll demonetize your videos.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't want the opposition or something that is against their narrative out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's like Penn Jillette. He's libertarian.
Yeah. Let's see here. So I think that's pretty much it on the whole government shutdown. It wasn't really much of a big deal.
Yeah, it wasn't really. I mean, yeah, there wasn't. There was some about it in the news, but it wasn't. Overall, this big overarching, story that they were telling or whatever. So
the mainstream media hyped it up like they always do, and it turned out to be a little pop, and that was it. Nothing, no explosion, no nuclear weapon, or no nothing like that. But let's go to something else.
Really, and we've discussed this before. It's not really a shutdown; it's a slowdown.
Yeah,
it's a slowdown because there are some services. A lot of their services still run. A lot of their services are still uninterrupted.
Yeah, because there's some things in the government that cannot be shut down.
Right. Yeah. There are still some services that are going on. So it's not like it's some, oh my God, the end of the world. It's not like that.
Yeah, it's not like, in the movies where all the people are screaming and jumping out the windows and stuff. The government shut down. Wah! What do we do? Like, wow.
Most Americans don't really care if the government shuts down, to be quite honest.
To avoid shutdowns, what Trump needs to do is sign an executive order that states anytime the government shuts down, Congress does not get paid at all. It doesn't matter if it's for 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute, or 1 second. They do not get paid at all.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
But let's get into something that really pissed me off this past week. Actually,
I think I can guess.
Last week. But
I don't want to steal your thunder, but I'm gonna let you.
All right. So Trump spoke in Ohio the other day, and CNN, you know how CNN is, they put a little box of the stock market collapsing, going down, while Trump was speaking to, show the visual that Trump's an idiot and he's lying to you that the stock market isn't up and it's going down and it's collapsing. That pissed me off so bad because, one, where were you when the stock market was raising ever since election night? All right. Ever since election night, between election night and that morning of when it started to collapse, it had rose up to 26,000 points. The highest it's ever been in ages, in years. Now they decided, let's go ahead and show the stock market now when it's collapsing and dropping 1,000 points and show how Trump is an idiot and doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And let's put a little box out here while he's saying, the stock market's up, everybody's up, and all that's up to show, Trump's lying, which in reality he wasn't lying. So I'm guessing CNN has a weird way of interpreting the stock market, which is if it's up, it's Obama's fault, but if it's down, it's Trump's fault. However, the stock market actually came back up the very next day, a couple of 100 points or so. So I guess that was Obama's fault, Obama's, success to that. It's like, geez. But here's the thing. The reason why it went down is because of the Fed raising interest rates. And, if you raise interest rates, of course the market's going to go down. I mean, it's simple economics. It's like economics 101. Do you guys fail economics class? Because if the Fed raises interest rates, the stock market will go down.
The stock market is a very volatile entity. and it's going to go up, it's going to go down. And really, you can't really say that a president has absolute control over all of that.
Yeah,
that's just rank insanity. Just saying that, oh, the president has total control over that.
Yeah.
No, it depends. It's going to depend on there's lots. Listen, there are lots of factors that it depends upon, that the stock market depends upon. It's not necessarily always the president. Just like it's not the president's fault if gas prices go up or go down.
Yeah.
That's due to the volatility and the volatile nature of the oil industry. Depends on oil. It doesn't depend on the president. So to put the blame on the president for the stock market going down, but then credit him when it goes up. Well, we know the fake news media is not going to credit this president if the stock market goes up.
Yeah.
Anyway, especially if they're pulling something like what you mentioned, where they're showing him in a live speech and they're showing the stock market going down.
Yeah, and that just pissed me off so bad. I mean,
that's like, just yellow journalism.
Exactly.
That's just yellow.
Where were they when the stock market was through the roof? Why didn't they show the little box of the thing going up? See, and that's how the media.
Because they're dishonest and they want to make this president seem like he's just incompetent and a buffoon and he's a liar. And I mean, because they have had it out for President Trump from day one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, actually, I should say they've had it out for him since he announced he was going to run as a Republican. If he had run as a Democrat, oh gosh, I mean, they would have been like, yes, we're going to have another Democrat in office. Finally.
To be honest with you, I don't think they would have, though, because he was still an outsider. I don't think it mattered which party he would have went for, because he was the outside candidate. If he would have ran for Democrat, and if he would have beaten both Hillary and Bernie Sanders to win the nomination, they would still be doing that. They would be trying to elevate his opponent, which I think would have been either Jeb Bush or Ted Cruz.
Well, I mean, you make a good point there. But right, I mean, they would have. But see, if things were going right like they are now, with the economy, with jobs and everything, they would praise that. They would say, "At President Trump today, there are jobs, and it's because of President Trump. It's because this is going on." I guarantee, if he was a Democrat, they would not have shown that little graphic. When he was speaking, they would not have shown that little graphic if he was a Democrat.
To be honest with you, I would have loved to see Trump change his party to Democrat and see what happens. Just see what happens. Just see what happens. I mean, anything can happen. But
yeah. Well, he has a history of trolling the media. And of course, one of the biggest things he trolled the media with, and I guess we can talk about it, is when he...
Nikki is commenting. She said, stocks go up and stocks go down. It's normal. 401ks are doing great. And she says she's been watching Dick Morris like crazy. And if you don't know who Dick Morris is is a deep Clinton insider, and he's like spilling all the secrets out. It's really fascinating to watch.
He used to work for Bill. He used to work for Bill Clinton. He was like one of his top advisors. Yeah, I know Dick Morris is. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Dick Morris.
Yeah, but go ahead, Henry.
But what I was going to say was, the president, he kind of trolled the media a little bit when he jokingly said, and I guess they can't take a joke. He jokingly said, "Well, those people those Democrats, they didn't cheer, they didn't applaud, even when I was saying positive things. They're a bunch of traitors. They're treasonous." And he was saying it in a jocular, lighthearted manner.
He didn't even, he just said they're un-American, and I guess you can call it treason. And then he he just said it as a joking
Yeah,
way,
that's
like
what
you
he
said.
said. Right.
But
That's how he
how
said
many
it.
times they've called President Trump a treasonous? How many times they said President Trump is treason? Jeez.
Oh yeah, because Russia.
We'll get
They
into
are
that.
still going on about that narrative. They're
We'll get
still
into
going on and on.
we'll get into Russia because there's some Russia news going on. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I mean, he was saying it in a jocular, joking manner, and the fake news media, they can't take a joke.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they think, how dare he say that? But if Obama had said, they'd be like, "Oh, Obama's so wonderful. Oh yes, and we agree with him so much about those awful Republicans being treasonous."
Let's do some role reversal here, and let's just say Hillary won, and let's just say after Hillary won, the stocks go up. She does all this. She does the pay cuts. She does the TPP. She does. She takes us out of TPP. She takes us out of Paris Climate, which would never freaking happen, but only in fantasy land. So let's go into fantasy world for a moment, and place Trump with Hillary, and have all of Trump's accomplishments dropped on Hillary. Could you imagine the gushing the mainstream media? Oh, Hillary, she brought back jobs. The black unemployment's low. The Hispanic unemployment's low. The stock market's going up. I mean, they would just be creaming their pants right now. Saying, "Oh, look what Hillary did, and this is all Hillary. Trump could have never done this." I mean, come on. Oh my God! I just want to throw up in my mouth for gosh.
Well, we saw how they gushed when she appeared at the Grammys. The crowd basically, like, yeah, it's Hillary. Even though she's a loser, we're going to cheer for her. Yay!
Yeah. Oh man. So some more Trump news. Let's do some lighthearted Trump news. So Trump was filmed going up the plane, and his hair came, unglued or untaped or however the heck he has it. Have you seen the video, Henry?
No.
All right, so I've seen it, and Trump's hair comes undone. He has it like this little comb over in the back, and it's like I don't know how he does it, but it just flipped over like that while he was walking up, and everybody went insane because it looked like there was like a big bald spot on the back of his head, which I don't think it's a bald spot. I think it's just his other hair, going combed over like that side of the right there, and it's like how his hair is like white. And it's like solid white. So I think that's what it was. I don't think it's a bald spot, but if it's a bald spot, who cares?
Really? I mean, yeah.
I mean, Gerald Ford, he was bald. So we've had a couple of bald presidents in our time. Who cares? But it was just so insane seeing the people saying, "Oh, he's got a bald spot. Oh, look at the bald." I'm like, who cares? But it was a pretty funny video. I thought it was funny.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I imagine being a multi-billionaire as he is, he has a certain amount of vanity to him. He doesn't want to be seen. If he was bald headed, let's say if he were to go into those business deals, looking like some average schlub with his hair like receding hairline and bald spot in the back, would he have been successful? Would he have gotten as many deals as he did?
Yeah. Nikki's commenting. There's absolutely collusion. Hillary, DNC, Obama, and Russia. We'll get into that. And she thinks the video was photoshopped because his face was messed up when he turns around. I didn't see that part. I might have to rewatch that again.
But I mean, you have to expect a bit of vanity with a multi-billionaire. I mean, and I imagine that the president, this president has quite a bit of vanity, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, you have
He
to
wants to
make yourself
have.
look good, make yourself look professional. You know, it is a business setting. It is a professional setting. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like he's going to
And
go
so
in there
what if
with
he's, you know,
sweatpants and, you know, a cut off T-shirt and say, "Hey, let's get out of business." It does not work like that.
here's the thing. So what if his hair comes all the way down to here? You know, he's got
Yeah,
this massive comb over or toupee or whatever he wears.
yeah. Who
I
cares? No,
mean,
yeah,
does that affect his ability to become the president? To be the president? No. So he's
yeah,
got a weird hairstyle.
yeah. Exactly. All right, so let's get down to the big news story this week, which is more Russia nonsense. However, it's backfiring on these people. Let's get down to Adam Schiff because what I thought this was so freaking hilarious. So,
That old bug-eyed idiot. Yeah.
so these two Russian pranksters from a
Oh,
radio
yeah.
station in
Oh,
Russia uh,
yeah.
called Adam Schiff,
Ah.
and they said we have some. We have some information about, uh, I guess at the time, campaign or uh, campaign Trump,
candidate,
candidate Trump,
candidate
or
Trump at the
soon to
time. Yeah,
be
candidate
candidate
Trump.
Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, saying, "Well, we've got some nude photos of President Trump." And Adam Schiff, I mean, he's on his phone and he's like, "Okay, what's you guys' names? Okay, don't worry about the spelling. I'll get my office can contact you guys' office and we can get all the legal stuff and spelling right." And he says this in the video. He says this. Now it's just I'm just gonna like summarize it. It's just gonna be a paraphrase. He's like, okay, now
Right.
okay, so now Russia may be listening to this conversation right now. He says that Russia might be listening in on this.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I've heard it. I've heard it. Oh my Lord.
So you have uh, deer in headlights, Adam Schiff. You know, freaking creaming himself right now. It's like, okay. So there's nude photos. So this is gonna be between us because there might be Russian interference, and and Adam Schiff has the audacity to go on national TV and blast Trump Jr. about his meeting with the Russian lawyer.
Uh-huh. I call him Adam Shifty Eyes.
So Shift Head.
Shift head.
Shift Head.
Shift for brains. That's what Mark Dice calls him. Shift for brains.
Exactly. Oh my god. So these Russian pranksters contact Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff had his office follow up on these, alleged don't even exist naked photos of President Trump or candidate Trump at the time. And these pranksters was dropping like little subtle hints to him that, saying, "Hey dude, this is like a prank." He does not fall for those hints or nothing. He thinks this is legit. So you want to know about, corresponding with the Russians and getting Russia interference? Adam Schiff is your main guy to look at. Not only that, you've got the whole memo thing that was released last week. Again,
Yeah,
Russian collusion. Again,
somebody
it's
needs
like,
to ask Adam. Somebody needs to ask Adam Schiff. Hey, what were you going to do with those pictures, there, Representative? What exactly? If this had been a real story, what were you going to do with those pictures?
yeah, exactly. I mean, the only thing I can think of is to blackmail Trump with, to take him to give him to, the DOJ, to get another FISA warrant, and to, tap his lines, tap Trump's lines. Nikki was laughing, and she asks if CNN ever covered the story. I don't watch CNN that much. I haven't heard, so I can't give you a straight answer for that.
Yeah, same here. I don't. I make it a point not to watch CNN because they
Yeah,
are
me
very
too.
fake news.
Yeah, the only time I watch CNN is if there's like clips from a YouTube video, and that's it. If they're
Same
like
here.
discussing
Yeah.
something, if Mark Dice is discussing something and he uses a clip
Right.
from CNN, that's the only time I watch.
Yeah. But
But
I'm wondering. I'm wondering. Let's see. Was Schiff going to make personal copies of those pictures for research? Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. He might want to compare sizes and like, oh, he's bigger than me.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. But it's like this. There is a big red fashion sign in front of Jeff Sessions, in front of FBI, saying Russia collusion, DNC, and Obama. And again, with text messages, there's just more text messages coming out every second. More text messages. Some of them that says Obama wants to know everything. Hello? That means that whole memo from last week. Obama wants to know
Here's the
everything about
thing.
it.
If Jeff Sessions cannot get the job done, he needs to either step down or be fired, and the president needs to put somebody in there that can actually do the freaking job.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Because
as much as I like Jeff Sessions, something happened between when he endorsed Trump and when he took the job for Attorney General. Because as soon as he took the job for Attorney General, he kind of, fell back a few steps. He wasn't
he
that,
did.
hard talking and, Southern guy that we all know and love.
He's been very much a disappointment, and I hate to say that. I mean, but he really has
Yeah.
been a disappointment. Referring to Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, I agree. Now, unless this is some kind of, plan that he has saying, let's keep everything quiet, do everything quietly, and then boom, hit him right where it hurts. Hit him when they least expect it. That I can see that, but you think there'd be some, at least arrest warrants or some kind of papers being, made and being delivered to these people saying, hey, you know what? We're on to you. We getting information. You better stay where you are or you're going to get arrested or something. Something to, show that something's being done.
Well, we do know that this administration, plays their cards pretty close to the chest. I mean, they tend to, they tend not to reveal too much information at the moment, especially if somebody is under some sort of investigation.
Mm-hmm.
They've been very careful. I think this administration has been very careful. I mean, I would like to see Jeff Sessions prove us wrong.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see. I mean, and if you are correct about this, about this being, them setting somebody up, then, I'd like to see it happen at some point. I mean, because right now we've got the FISA, we've got the memo, and the Democrats, not to be outdone, they are threatening to release their own memo.
Oh yeah. Speaking of that, there's actually some news that came in just before we came live. So Adam Schiff, so there's him again, said he has this memo and it needs to be released and all this. Well, Trump returns the sensitive memo to House Democrats, cited changes needed. U.S. President Trump has declined to make the public memo written by Democrats on House Intelligence Committee, saying that it requires additional revisions to remove sensitive and classified information. Well, here's the thing. That's their plan all along. Their plan was to have their memo come out and say, well, he told us we need to, revise and everything. And the Republican memo, he didn't say revise and all that. I know from the start that's what they're getting at. I mean, what Trump needs to do, he needs to hit Adam Schiff right where it hurts and tweet out the phone call between the radio show and him. He needs to tweet that out. Just say like, "Hey, Adam Schiff, hey, remember this phone call? Just tweet that out." And you see Adam Schiff. He'll probably like, punt his head back under the sand. I was watching David Knight earlier this week, and he had Lionel from Lionel Media, and he made.
Oh yeah,
I
know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Lionel made a joke and said, "Could you imagine the people back on the house can like, hey Adam, there's a phone call for you. Oh, I think it's the Russians." Oh man. Yeah, so this 10-page memo from Adam Schiff says numerous properly classified and specifically sensitive passages. Trump is inclined to declassify the memo, but is unable to do so at this time. So I hope the Schiff memo gets released. I really do. I really freaking do, because let's see. I wonder if that phone call is in that memo of the Russians.
Well, if there's classified information that the president does not want to get out, then I don't blame him for saying, go back and revise this, because we're not going to release this classified information.
Yep.
Because I think perhaps that may have been the Democrats' plan, was to try to trick Trump into releasing this memo, this Democratic memo with classified information in it. And they figure, oh, hey, he won't catch on. He did.
Yeah,
he did catch
this
on.
Was a plan all along. I mean,
Adam Schiff. Don't be surprised if that's what they were attempting to do, and Trump caught him at it. Trump caught on pretty quick. And realized, absolutely. Oh wait, they're trying to release classified information. Nope, ain't having it.
Yeah, because could you imagine if like he actually did release classified information, and they're like, "Oh, Trump, he's treasonous. He did treason. He released classified information. He's not allowed to do that." It's like,
yeah. They were going to try and trap him. See, but he caught on. They were going to try and trap him into that.
I still say what they're going to do. They're going to be like, well. I still say they're going to be bitching about it, saying, "Well, he released the Republican memo. Why hasn't released this one?" I mean, who cares about the whole classified information? He needs to release it. Everybody needs to release it.
Well, hell, let them bitch. I mean, that's all they ever do anyway.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. Let these assholes bitch. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Let them complain. That's all they do.
Speaking of bitches, we had Nancy Pelosi, I call her.
That's crazy eyes. Crazy eyes, Nancy.
Standing in the house, standing in the well of the house, filibustering for 8 hours, 8 straight hours.
I'm surprised she made it through them 8 hours. I am surprised she made it through them 8 hours.
I mean, I imagine she had an extra heavy duty pair of Depends on.
She must tell you that, and she probably got so freaking sedated. They gave her the same medication as Hillary, so she can make it through it. Because I cannot see that woman standing for 8 hours.
Oh yeah,
and praising illegals and saying and she brought her grandson into all this, so she's indoctrinating her grandson. She's indoctrinating her grandson, saying basically, oh, it's wrong to be white, and it's anti-white and all that. She's indoctrinating her grandson because she told a story of her grandson saying that he wished he had brown skin like his friend. I'm like, good Lord.
She is riddled with dementia. That's what her problem is. She's got dementia. She does not need to be in the House. She does not need to be in the House of Representatives. She needs to be in the rubber room.
For us. It's good for us. Put a camera on her for 24/7, and you can see these moderate Democrats and the independents would just turn away from that. They would not want to be, really next to that at all. So they'll just like, they'll get turned away, and we'll try to recruit them ourselves. I mean, we need to get all the votes we can.
This is the same dementia-rid bitch who said, Donald Trump will not be president. You can take that to the bank.
Yeah, she's no Shane Stradamus, I can think.
Nope, she isn't.
Although I got to say that I was wrong about the Super Bowl. I broke down and did a prediction anyway, and I said Patriots are going to win. They did not win. Eagles won, and we'll get into the Super Bowl later on because it was a riot right after the Super Bowl. But yeah, Nancy Pelosi. I can see them turning on her just to get rid of her. I can see that. I can see the Dems turning on her just to get rid of her because she.
Yeah, I mean, well, we all know there's no honor among thieves, so. Yeah. I mean, but hey, the more the Democrats act ridiculous, the more the left acts ridiculous. I have to agree with you. The better it is for us because, I mean, this shows people what they really are, who they really are.
Going back to that Democrat memo or the Schiff memo, I'm calling it a Schiff memo because it's sort of like shit memo because that's what it's going to be. So the Schiff memo, Mark Dice just tweeted out, as expected, Trump denied the release of the Democrat memo because of Adam Schiff included sources and methods, knowing Trump would refuse to release it so the Democrats could feign outrage over another cover-up. So I see that. I agree with Mark Dice 100%. Mainstream media is going to flip this and say, oh, Trump's covering it up. Trump doesn't want this to get out. However, the White House released a statement and said that he will release it if you redact the classified information.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't.
Yep.
So now, unless Trump said that he wasn't going to release these at all, then they can say, "Oh, cover up." But the mainstream media and CNN is still going to say it's going to be a cover up. I mean, you probably can flip on CNN right now, and at the bottom of the bar it says Trump covers up Democrat memo.
Yeah, I mean, it's just predictable. That's very predictable from CNN. Yeah, and pathetic. And folks, if you really want a great insight into what CNN is like, but not just CNN, but NBC, CBS, ABC, MSNBC, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You want a great insight into all of their social justice engineering? I would recommend getting Mark Dice's book, The True Story of Fake News. It's on Amazon.
Yeah. I'm going to have to look into that.
It's great. You'd enjoy it. You'd like it.
Yeah,
you would like it.
Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Dice does some great stuff. Let's see here. What else happened? I think we covered the big part, which is the whole Russia gate, and I still cannot believe Adam Schiff and the whole Russia pranksters. That is a good one. That is a good one.
Well, we were going to talk about, let's talk about the latest quote unquote scandal from the White House.
Yeah, let's do the scandal.
And that's the firing of the resignation of one of his top advisors, that being Rob Porter, who has apparently been accused of abuse by two of his ex-wives.
Yeah.
And apparently John Kelly, the chief of staff, has offered to fall on his own sword.
Yeah. So I read this. I read the article from a Vanity Fair piece, and Vanity Fair is like mainstream media, but apparently from what I've gathered from that mainstream media place, and like I said, Vanity Fair, so take this with a grain of salt. They said that Trump did not know about this and that John Kelly was covering up for it, and that once Trump found out, he got pissed off. Which,
yes, that's what I've heard as well.
If that is true, yeah, I don't. Why would this be Trump's fault anyway? If you didn't know anything about it, first
right?
off.
Yeah,
Second off,
I don't think it's Trump's fault at all. But I mean, of course, and the fake news media, and I saw this on ABC News earlier because my mother watches ABC News. I wish she wouldn't. But anyway, they were trying to equate this to, well, the president also has had some problems with women and sexual assault allegations, and all this stuff. It's like this has nothing to do with the president.
Yeah. First, okay. I think, don't tell me they're going to do that whole women again. They're going to bring those women again with freaking Gloria Allred. But that's exactly what they're going to do. Because they need a distraction from this Russia thing. So what better way
and the memo.
Exactly. What better way to distract is to trot out the same women again with the same false accusations with Gloria Allred and her daughter Lisa Bloom. What better way to do that?
Yeah, I have a word for those two, but I'm not going to say it.
Oh man,
Shane knows what word I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I got you. The big C word, the big C.
Yeah, and that ain't cancer either. Although yes, they are a cancer. They are both a cancer for sure.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with that. Let's see here. Yeah, but I think he resigned, didn't he? Porter.
He did, yes. I mean, yeah, the president, he said, but one thing they mentioned on the ABC News report, well, the president was talking about how it was very sad what happened to Rob Porter, but he didn't say anything about the women, the two women. He said nothing about them. How do you know?
Yeah. NBC News just tweeted out, Chief of Staff Kelly has not offered his resignation to the president, White House says. Just in, Kelly O, I guess that's one of the reporters, asked General Kelly, did you offer to resign? General Kelly said no. Kelly followed up and said, but there's reports that you did. Kelly responded, General Kelly said, I just said no. That's an actual tweet from NBC News.
So that sounds like the crap. Well, yeah, they did say, well, sources said that he offered to resign. Yeah, sources. Yeah. Sounds like fake news to me.
There's those sources again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again,
but the problem is the fake news media reports as if it's real, as if it's true.
Exactly. And then when they have to issue a correction, they issue the correction like on Friday or Saturday where no one's watching and no one's on their phones and reading the material articles or anything. And
they usually do it on Fridays. Yeah. They usually do it on Fridays because that's the news dump day. That's their news dump day. So they do it on Fridays when they figure, hey, everybody's focused on the weekend. Nobody's going to pay attention to this.
Yep. Exactly. And then they have the little correction at the bottom of the page or the bottom of the screen that says, very fine print that says, this is wrong. We have to issue a correction and yada, yada, yada. Again.
Mm-hmm.
But more Russia collusion news. Mark Warner. Democratic Senator Mark Warner texted with a Russian oligarch lobbyist. Texted a Russian lobbyist. So he texted a Russian lobbyist, and he used this texting app. I can't remember. It started with an S, but what it does, it deletes the texts. It deletes texts and before you can't, so you can't go back and read them. That's what it does. But Democratic Senator Mark Warner texted with Russian oligarch lobbyists in effort to contact dossier author Christopher Steele. So basically, he contacted this Russian lobbyist to get a hold of the Christopher Steele, the one that did the whole dossier on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the text from Warner to the Russian lobbyist. We have so much to discuss. You need to be careful, but we can help our country. Warner texted the lobbyist Adam Waldman on March 22nd of 2017. Wow, that's recent, very recent, a year.
Almost 1 year. Yeah.
I'm in, Waldman, whose firm has ties to Hillary Clinton, texted back to Warner. Yeah.
Oh no, there couldn't possibly be a conflict of interest there. No, not at all.
Yeah. The senators released a joint statement to Fox News, and this is from Fox News, stressing that they were working together while blasting the leaks of incomplete information. They said the committee has been in possession of this material for several months, and the committee investigators have pursued all relevant investigative leads to relate it to the material. From the beginning of our investigation, we have taken each step in a bipartisan way. We intend to continue to do so, Warner and Burr said in the statement. Leaks of incomplete information out of context by anyone, inside or outside the community, are unacceptable.
It's like, hey, dumb shits, the dossier was fake.
Yeah. Could you imagine if this was Trump and he texted a Russian lobbyist? They would be in complete meltdown mode right now. They would be saying, "Oh, there's your proof that Trump's a Russian agent."
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Democrats can text Russian officials all day long. Oh, that's fine. That's perfectly okay. So yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of hypocrisy on their part. It really is. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Let's see here. What else? Is there any more fake scandals that's coming out?
Somebody's out here in our driveway. What the heck?
Let's see. What else?
Second.
All right. All right, so I'm looking through here and I'm scrolling and see if there's anything else coming through the pipeline. So let's talk about the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl happened this past Sunday. Super Bowl, like what, 52, 53?
I think it's 52. Now, apparently, Domino's, I don't know if they were looking for, they must be looking for somebody's house. Because I didn't order a pizza.
No, you should say it was you. You really got free pizza.
Yeah. But yeah, the Super Bowl, yeah. I guess the good thing, one of the good things is that it was not political for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the players actually stood for the national anthem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there was nobody kneeling.
Yeah, even with that, they said it was still the lowest rated Super Bowl since 2009.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. And course, there was also the whole deal where they wouldn't allow a military commercial or something like that, and also speaking of commercials, some of their commercials were a bit politically charged as well.
Right here, and this is from mainstream media too. CBS Super Bowl 52 ratings for football's biggest game, lowest since 2009. An estimate of 103.4 million people watched the Super Bowl. That's down from 111.3. 111.3 million.
Happens.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what happens when you alienate your audience.
Yeah. And
when you have these spoiled rich, football players who are allowed to who are allowed to make fools of themselves, and to kneel during the national anthem. Yeah. I mean, and once again, we've said it before here on this show, but I think it bears repeating.
Mm-hmm.
They have a right to do it, but fans also have a right to say, we're not going to put up with it. They have a right to say, we're not going to go to the games anymore. We're not going to buy the merchandise. We're not going to watch it on TV. We're not going to support it in any way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw the videos of people burning their NFL merchandise, even burning their season tickets.
Yeah.
Because of how disgusted they were with the actions of these NFL players.
Yeah. And just to compare ratings, last year's audience ratings was 111.3 million. In 2015 was 114.4 million. But this past Sunday's Super Bowl was 103.4 million. So a very significant dip in ratings. But
it is, as I mentioned,
that's what you get.
There were several. Yeah, and there were several commercials that were very political. And one of the most controversial was Dodge Trucks utilizing speeches from a speech from Dr. Martin Luther King.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, what does Dr. Martin Luther King have to do with selling trucks?
Yeah, I've never really understood that. Now, if you would have taken the whole truck selling aspect out of that and just left in the whole, the people, doing whatever they're doing, then that would have been a great commercial. But they focused it on more on the truck than they did on the Martin Luther King and the people in the commercial. But yeah, and they talked about not political commercials. That was more of a political type commercial. I mean, if they would have aired that, they could have aired the whole "Veterans Please Stand for the Flag" commercial.
Yes, they could have. I mean, and there were a few other virtue signaling commercials. There was the T-Mobile commercial with the babies saying, "You can be strong. You can do this. You can do that."
I didn't see that one.
Well, yeah, there was a new T-Mobile commercial with babies in it. And so, yeah, there were a few commercials that were sort of politically charged, you might say.
Yeah. Yeah, but I didn't watch the Super Bowl this year. I watched, I don't know, I forgot what I did during the Super Bowl. To be honest
I didn't watch it either, but, I saw the reviews, like the Mark Dice and all that afterwards.
Yeah.
What they had to say.
Yeah, the halftime show with Justin Timberlake, that really got some really bad reviews. They said that nobody cheered or stand or did anything during the whole Justin Timberlake concert. There was some, speculation that something huge would have happened, like, some kind of terrorist attack or something like that. Thankfully, nothing anything like that didn't happen. But after the Super Bowl was really where it was at. After the Eagles won, the Philadelphia people, the people of Philadelphia, riot. Instead of they celebrate, except they blew up cars, burned down buildings, and tipped over whatever, and they actually climbed up on a hotel awning, like about 50 people did, and the whole thing just collapsed under the weight. So like 50 people just came crashing down. You had people trying to climb the light posts, but they greased the poles so they wouldn't climb it, and they slipped and fell off. It was like an Antifa rally.
I forgot what they used. I think it was
it was some type of grease.
What was that stuff?
Some type of grease, wasn't it? Like ball bearing grease.
It was something like that. Yeah, they used that to keep people from climbing up on the poles. It's like this, folks. It's fine to celebrate the victory of your team and whatever, but don't destroy property.
Yeah,
don't act like a fool.
Especially the property that you live at. That is ridiculous. It looked like a freaking Black Lives Matter riot. That's how it looked.
I mean, if you want to celebrate, celebrate at home.
Yeah.
Don't tear your house up, but celebrate at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're supposed to be happy. You're not supposed to, tear crap up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't get that either. Let's see here. What else? So something stupid, or someone stupid, is issuing a new law that says Tide Pods should be remade into something that looks less delicious. I kid you not. Did you see the article?
No, but it sounds ridiculous. I mean, oh yeah. Somebody's going to get the idea. Oh, hey, there's a Tide Pod. Boy, I bet that tastes good. I'm going to put it in my mouth.
Yeah.
Nobody except somebody who's really stupid or really high or is doing it as a dare is going to eat one of those things.
Yeah, I wouldn't even eat them either. I don't know what. I mean, here's the thing. If you want to eat Tide Pods, I'm telling you not to eat them, but it's your business. All right, I'm not going to stop you. If you're that stupid enough to eat a Tide Pod, then you deserve whatever happens. You go to the hospital, get your stomach pumped. But this is right here is a prime example of how Democrats love government control. Is saying, well, we've got to control Tide Pods. We've got to control them to make them look less delicious. It's got to be Tide Pod control. You heard it here first. Tide Pod control.
It's like, hey, dumbasses. Hey, hello. Newsflash. No sane person wants to eat a Tide Pod.
Yeah.
Yeah. What sane person wants to eat a Tide Pod?
I have no idea. I don't even know how this challenge even got started. But, if you follow my Facebook feed, I posted that I had some great dinner with Tide Pods and washed it down with bleach. I went to the ER and got my stomach pumped, and I'm fine. I'm completely fine.
Yay! Stomach pumping for everybody.
You get a stomach pump. You get a stomach pump. You get a stomach pump.
There, a stomach pump. Everybody gets a stomach pump.
That's Oprah's catchphrase for 2020.
I've never had my stomach pump, but I have heard it's a very unpleasant experience.
Oh yeah, I've never heard of that. I've never So I never had my stomach pumped either, but yeah,
They
I
put
don't want
charcoal
to.
down your throat.
Ooh,
That's what they use. They put charcoal down your throat.
uh-huh. Yeah, to absorb it.
Do you, yeah. Do you want to go through? Do you want to go through having to taste charcoal?
Oh, gee. Don't say that, Henry, because people will be eating Tide Pods and then going out to get some Kings for charcoal and just eat those so they can, get their stomach, so it won't.
Yeah,
I'm
idiots will find any way
gonna, I'm gonna go
to
get some
entertain
Kingsford and
themselves.
do my own home remedy.
Oh my god!
But there's also so I posted this article on politically alternative media, and there's another challenge. It's from Lad Bible, and there's an article issuing a warning that there's another challenge called the Hot Coral Challenge. And basically, what the challenge is that you turn a stove on, you put your hand on it, and see how long you can last with your hand on it. All right.
Uh,
Okay.
if you've got we have a gas. I think it's a gas stove. I think it's a gas stove that we have. It's got the little blue flames coming up.
Ooh, yeah, that is gas.
Yeah. Even if by some weird chance you don't scorch your hand on the little grill or the grill part.
Mm-hmm.
If your finger accidentally gets down that blue flame, guess what? You're going to burn. It's going to burn.
Yeah.
Oh yay! The
That
stove challenge. Yes, let's all burn our hands.
yeah, exactly. Let's burn our fingerprints on our hands. But the senator that's issuing that whole Tide Pods need to be changed into less delicious looking things. The state senator Brad Hoylman from Manhattan, a Manhattan Democrat, and an
New
assemblywoman.
York, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, are we really surprised by that? New York is a hub for leftists.
yeah.
I mean,
And also it's Assemblywoman Arvella Samoses, a Queens Democrat, saying
think
that
about
we are
this.
asking the laundry
This is the
detergent
same
pods to be
city.
uniform in color. Go ahead.
This is the same city that elected Bill de Blasio, who is a well-known commie.
Yeah, I don't know how he ever got reelected. I don't know how he got reelected.
And they reelected him, yeah.
Uh, so, new commie, I guess, commie York. I don't know. We commie Florida, commie California, and then commie New York. So we need to build like a wall,
Oh
in
my
those two
lord.
areas. In those two
Mm-hmm.
areas. Let me see here. Lucas is watching us. Hey, Lucas. Wait a minute. Nikki said that was a lie. I saw everyone participating. Oh, I'm thinking she might be talking about the Nillers probably for the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I was Shane Stradamus is wrong about the little prediction that I made, but oh well. It didn't count. That one didn't count because I didn't watch it. Anyway, let's see here. Looking and seeing if there's anything else we can discuss. Oh, crap. I just saw the article. I think. right. I'm looking for an article that I saw that we posted. That was a good discussion. All right, here's a funny article. This is from the New York Post. And it says, anti-hooker lawmaker allegedly uses taxpayer money for sex with escort.
Oh, he's been busted.
Yeah. Yeah, so a Utah lawmaker who voted for tougher so a Utah lawmaker voted for tougher penalties.
Uh-huh.
Let me bring it up. Voted for tougher penalties for prostitution, has resigned amid allegations that he used taxpayer money to pay hotel rooms to hook up with an online escort, according to reports.
Well, there you go.
This is Daily Mail. Quoted a call girl, Bree Taylor, saying former GOP rep John Stannard paid her $250 for sex twice at a Fairfield Inn in Salt Lake City. In one exchange from November, Stannard asked Taylor if she could bring any accessories or toys, perhaps a corset, according to the news outlet. So he paid her $250 for each of the 1-hour sessions in June and August of 2017.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Why does this not shock me? I mean, well, yeah.
And then last year, he voted for stricter laws on prostitution, hiking the penitentiary, I can't even pronounce it now. The fine for soliciting sex to $2,500. On his website, it says, "I'm a strong advocate for conservative family values. I am pro-life as well for traditional marriages." He is 43. He's got 3 children and his wife.
Well,
and
yeah.
There's text messages. There's text messages.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think that's pretty much it.
I'm not shocked at all.
I think that's pretty much it. The big stories that happened this past week. Henry, got any local news for us?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. This headline just jumped out at me. Senator wants harsher penalties for domestic violence. A heated debate began on the Senate floor yesterday as senators discussed a new bill. During a debate over a bill to increase penalties against animal abusers, Senator Barbara Blackman was recognized to speak on the bill and said that the focus for increased penalties should be in other areas, like creating harsher penalties for those convicted of domestic violence. We've been talking about sick and horrific things that have been done to these dogs, but tell me about the sick and horrific things happening to children and women who are abused. Yet for domestic abuse, you're talking about a fine of $1,000 and up to 5 years in prison. We're talking about torturing, maiming, and dismembering a dog. About torturing and maiming and burning and mutilating a child or woman. Women who have been the subject of domestic violence, we should be just as passionate about that, Blackman said. Blackman went on to discuss why she feels that the penalties associated with domestic violence should take precedent over penalties for animal abuse. Senator Angela Hill says the bill does not ignore the issue of domestic violence, but rather enforces the fact that certain types of behavior will not be tolerated. There's an overwhelming link between abusing animals and abusing people. Domestic violence, serial killers are all tied to animal abuse. So this is not just about animals. It's about deviant behavior. People who abuse animals also abuse people. There's no doubt about that, Hill said. Hill also said that she has worked hard to protect vulnerable adults like her grandfather, who was abused later in his life. She concluded by asking that Blackman and others resist from saying that support for this bill means that they do not care about people that have been abused. The animal abuse bill did pass through the Senate. In the bill, it states that anyone engaged in promoting or facilitating a dog fight is subject to 10 years and a $10,000 fine. Spectators of a dog fight could face a $5,000 fine and 1 year in prison. So, and we're familiar with Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, we know that he started out. What we've learned about him, he started out abusing animals. I mean, he was just horrible for doing that, for abusing animals. I mean, he would have collections of skeletons of animals in a shed. And I mean, we saw what happened. We saw, obviously, he took it way too far. I mean, he was cannibalistic. I mean, he had body parts in a daggum, like a barrel.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude was sick. He had body parts in his refrigerator. That's how bad he was. But he started out as an animal abuser. A lot of these guys start out as animal abusers, and then they step it up.
Mm-hmm.
So there does seem to be a correlation between those two occurrences.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's, it starts out, like you said, with animals, and then they work their way up. And, it's their mental illness that gets them.
Yeah, it is. All right, Shane, that's my local story for this week.
All right, so mine is a Bluefield Fire Department receives grant for AED. A grant for the Bluefield Regional Medical Center aims to help the community by donating money for the Bluefield Fire Department to buy an AED defibrillator. A check presentation is planned for Tuesday, February 13th, 2018 at noon during the City of Bluefield board meeting. We are grateful to the Bluefield Regional Medical Center for their generosity, said Bluefield Fire Chief Rick Carey. This device will enable our department to access a person who is in cardiac arrest and take the required steps to provide care. On behalf of the Bluefield Fire Department and City of Bluefield, we would like to thank the Bluefield Regional Medical Center for making our city a safer place to live, learn, work, and play. City leaders said the public is welcome to attend the check presentation. So what they did was they raised money to get a defibrillator, because usually when there's like a car scene or an accident, the fire department is usually the first ones there, and they usually check on people. So this would be great, since the fire department's usually the first ones there. They can, if someone's in cardiac arrest or anything, they can use that defibrillator right then and there without waiting on the the rescue squad or ambulance or whatever. So I think that's great. Great little story.
Oh yeah, that is great. Yeah, usually fire is usually the first one there when there's an accident.
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely. So that's a great thing, though.
All right, Nikki had to go. So bye, Nikki. Wish you could join us again. We miss you, Nikki. So come back and join us. Let's see here. The guy that beat up his wives. Yeah, we discussed that. Again, President Trump didn't know about it, and John Kelly. It seemed like John Kelly was covering for him. We'll just have to wait and see where this goes. But if I was Trump, I would be severely pissed at John Kelly. And now, if John Kelly did cover for him, if I was Trump, I would be pissed off and I would fire John Kelly. That is only if the reports are true that John Kelly covered for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's going to do it for here for this not mainstream this week.
Yeah.
We didn't do X-Files this past Wednesday night. Again, I was a little under the weather, but we're gonna do it tomorrow night and discuss
tomorrow night
episode
Eastern
6. Yeah, Eastern,
Kitten.
episode 6, season 11, Kitten. And they're going to be off for the next couple of weeks, so they won't be back until the 28th of February.
Yeah, I
So
think they
that,
probably taken time off so they don't compete with the Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about the Olympics. The Olympics started this week. I don't watch the Olympics. I don't watch the Olympics.
I don't either. The official beginning of the Olympics is tonight. The official opening ceremonies is tonight.
And they're in South Korea. So there's going to be a huge time delay with the Olympics.
Right, yeah, because it's already Saturday morning there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've already had the ceremony, but we're getting it on tape delay.
Yeah, you probably could go on YouTube or somewhere and find a live stream of it.
Yeah, you probably could.
So if you don't want to, spoilers or have any spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't watch it. I'm not really into the Olympics like that. I hope USA takes all the gold, but that's the only thing I'm there for.
Anyway, it's been 24 years since the whole situation with Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So I know a little bit about this. I know about Tanya Harding, and I think it was her husband and her husband's friend. They had a plan to beat up Nancy Kerrigan. They whacked her knees so that she wouldn't be able to compete.
Whacked one knee. Yeah.
Yeah, so she wouldn't be able to compete at the skating. Was it the Olympics at the time?
It was the Olympics.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so she wouldn't be able to compete. There's actually a movie. There's a movie about that now. I think
there's a new movie called I, Tanya. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was the Olympics. And Nancy Kerrigan, I think she got the silver that year. And I think Tanya Harding, I think she may have gotten the bronze.
Yeah.
I remember she was talking about how her shoelace was untied, and she was complaining to the judge like, "Oh, my shoelace is untied. Hang on, wait a minute."
Oh man, yeah, I know a little bit about it, but I was like, wait, was it 94, 95?
It was 94. It was
94. Yeah, I was only 1, so I was born in 93, so I was only 1 at the time when that happened.
Yep.
But yeah, so I didn't know it's been 24 years. Wow.
24 years. Yep. And also today is a significant day in Mississippi history because 24 years ago today was a massive ice storm, which knocked out power for just practically the entire Mississippi Delta.
Oh wow.
A lot of people were without power for like a month.
Mm-hmm.
There were power poles that were snapped off the top by heavy ice, heavy accumulations of ice.
Mm-hmm.
There were power lines on the ground, on the streets. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
And then
we had a
if you listen at night, you can hear the transformers go boom. The transformers would blow. Wow.
Oh wow. Yeah. Back in '93, West Virginia had a big blizzard. They call it the blizzard of '93, and it was just like
wow,
like 5 days of snow, and it was like 12 feet up in the air, but it was huge. But yeah, we haven't had any.
It's like sometimes if you look, and we had a transformer not very far from our house where we lived at the time, which was just down the street. You could see the transformer glowing. You could see like you could see it flash. Like the it blew. So
wow.
And there was a lot of cleanup after that because there were a lot of tree limbs that were down because of the ice, because of the heavy ice.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it was a bad situation there for a while. We were without power for about 2 weeks. We finally got our power back after a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We used the stove. We had a stove. We had a gas stove. We were able to cook, and we were able to stay warm with the because of the my mom would turn the oven on, in the morning, keep it nice and warm in the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was incredible. I mean, and the good thing was this community here really came together. They had the National Guard delivering water up here at Walmart, and a lot of people came together. People loaned out generators. People got generators. They were able to use generators.
Mm-hmm.
Some people were to get at least a little bit of electricity in their homes. So it was an amazing time. It really was.
All right, there's something that we forgot to discuss. Trump is ordering the Pentagon to organize a military parade.
Yes, I love it.
And everybody's all saying, "Oh, that's dictatorship of him, man. That's Hitler-like of him. That's North Korea-like of him." Well, if they can have it, why can't we?
Here's the thing. Chuck Schumer. Let's talk about old Chucky Schmucky.
Yeah.
A few years ago, he said he thought it was a good idea to have a parade to honor, our troops and everything. And now he's saying that this dangerous president, this dangerous individual in the White House, wanting a parade, that's dictatorship. Well, hey, Chuck, you're a hypocrite.
Exactly.
Because you said it was a good idea a few years ago. So screw you.
A military parade. I mean, I don't see, because the French does it, and they're not a dictatorship. Russia does it, they're not dictatorship.
What is dictator like about wanting to honor our veterans and honor our military?
Yeah,
with something like this.
Exactly.
And
they need to do it during the 4th of July. I think the 4th of July would be a perfect day for that.
Yes. I agree. Or maybe Flag Day or
Veterans Day or Memorial Day.
Yeah, exactly.
But, who cares if Hitler done it? I mean, this is not Nazi Germany anymore. All right. There's never going to be another Hitler. All right. Let's put this down.
The left just wants another way to compare Trump to Hitler. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, left, I got your Hitler right here.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how many times can they use the Hitler card? I mean, they have the race card, they got the Hitler card, they got, the sex card, they got
gender card,
they got all these other cards. But I think it's a great idea. I think it'd be a great idea to honor the military because, we honor the vets all the time, but we don't honor the active military as much as we do as the vets. I think they need to be equal part of the whole thing.
I personally think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything wrong with it whatsoever. I mean, I love it. I absolutely love that.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
idea.
But
of honoring our troops. Hey, I'm all for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Honor the troops, active and vets too. Honor all of them in that big military parade. But I hope it does. I hope we do have one. I think it'd be something interesting to see. But I think that's pretty much it on this week's news cycle. Again, so next week is going to be another Not Mainstream. Tomorrow night we will discuss the X-Cast, the X-Files, season 6, episode 6. Oh, 1 second.
Season 11, Kitten. Episode Kitten. Yep.
Oh my God! I gotta say, before we go to this, Haley Joel Osment, he blew up. All right, he he got big. I mean, he's a little big.
He did.
I remember
Yeah.
him as a kid. He was scrawny and everything. Now he's really fat. He's kind of fat.
Yeah, he is.
He's man. That's shocking to see. But yeah,
Yeah, we're going
Halo
to.
Joe
Yeah, we
Osment.
are going to discuss that tomorrow night. Yeah, because he was on the X-Files. He actually played 2 roles.
Yeah, he did. And again, the guy they got for to play young Skinner was a really good guy. I mean, he looked exactly like Mitch Pileggi. And
Yeah, he did.
If I see Mitch Pileggi young, I can picture that guy. But yeah, we'll discuss Kitten tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 Central, 6 Pacific, 5 Mountain, 4 whatever coast you're on. And then we're going to have to wait a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, Walking Dead is going to be back before the X-Files come back on, the 25th of February. And we'll be talking to Webcasting Dead that Saturday, so that 3rd. So we got 3 shows.
March 3rd,
yeah. So we're going to have X-Cast, not Mainstream, and the Webcasting Dead Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So yeah, that's going to be great. So on that note, see you guys. Yep, go ahead.
When the X-Files comes back, we'll be back at our regularly scheduled time.
Yep,
which is on Wednesday nights.
Live right after the X-Files.
And basically, almost immediately following the X-Files.
Yeah.
On Wednesday night.
I wish we can do that for the Webcasting Dead, but I think with Ellen, she doesn't watch it until the very next day, so it would kind of be impossible to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, on that note, we'll see you here next week on the 16th, and it's Valentine's Day weekend, I guess you can say.
It'll be post-Valentine's Day,
Valentine's Day, yeah. So I'll be celebrating it by myself. I am.
Same here.
If there's any single female Trump supporters out there, hit me and Henry up, and you know, maybe we can show you the wall. You know, we'll take you to the wall or something. I don't know. Or maybe if you're interested in the whole 50 Shades, I'll show you some 50 Shades of Shane.
Oh,
I got to bring that, because the 50 Shades is like what, the 3rd movie now that's out. So
the newest one, yeah.
So okay, let's end this. My throat is getting sore again. So on that note, see you here next week. We'll be live tomorrow night on the Breaking Badcast channel, talking X-Files. Good night, everybody. God bless America, and God bless President Donald J. Trump.